of the hour. Everybody give it up for the one and only Iwanu.
Yeah, what's up, you guys? Yeah, I know as comedians, they'll always tell you two things, right? They'll always tell you when they get booked on a show, and they'll always tell you when they have sex. A little juvenile, right? Like myself, I haven't been booked on a show since like March or something. But I did get laid last week, so hooah! Yeah, I was driving the other day and I got pulled over by a horse cop. It was weird, right? Like, yeah, I didn't know he was behind me until I heard this woo, woo! And it wasn't a siren either, it was a horse making that noise. Yeah, in New York, women are getting beaten left and right, like randomly, right? Like on TikTok, this lady, like a big old knot on her head. There was a 9-year-old girl, she was standing with her mom, some dude just randomly punched her in the face. And I heard another lady get attacked with like a hockey stick. I was like, a fucking hockey stick? You know, randomly attacking women in New York is literally becoming a fucking sport. Yeah, so I have one Jewish friend and one Muslim friend, right? Neither of them eat pork, right? So they're always trying to like pork shame me and stuff. They're like, oh, gross, you eat bacon? I'm like, I'm Korean, man, we eat dogs, all right? Yeah, scientists reported earlier this year, scientists reported for the first time that they documented 2 male humpback whales having sex. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Hollywood's already going to make a movie about it. Yeah, they're going to call it Humpback Mountain. Yeah, it's weird how language changes over time, right? Like if somebody came up to me right now and told me they were going to blow my brains out, I wouldn't know whether to run away or pull my pants down. Yeah, you know, NFL has one Asian player, right? And he's a kicker. You know, could you not find a more racist position for this guy? What, is he gonna go out barefoot in a karate uniform? Yeah, I was watching a show about General George Armstrong Custer and his famous last stand at the Battle of Little Bighorn. I was like, Little Bighorn? That's gotta be euphemism for penis, no? Little Bighorn. It's like, here's my bighorn, and here's my little bighorn. Yeah, doctors are so full of shit nowadays, you know? I mean, they kind of always were, right? Like in the 20s, people didn't really trust eating hamburgers, right? So when White Castle came out, they hired a bunch of doctors to sit in their restaurants eating hamburgers and shit. And people were like watching, like, oh wow, you know, I guess hamburgers are healthy, right? Hamburgers aren't fucking healthy. And in the 50s, doctors were selling cigarettes, you know? Newspapers and magazines, and even TV commercials. They were like, I'm a doctor, so I smoke Camels. Yeah, it's such bullshit, right? Because they're doctors, they know better. And then the newest fucking medical scam going around nowadays is that whole prostate rectal exam thing. Yeah. You know, I've heard 100 different prostate rectal exam stories. They all end the same way. They didn't find anything. You know, if it's so important, why don't you show me what to look for, and I'll stick my own finger up my own ass. How about that? But oh no, we can't have that, can we? Well, you need a medical degree just to find a bubble up your butt? I tell you, my colon's not the only thing full of shit around here. All right, I'll tell you guys a story. I'll tell you a story of the time I met The Rock, right? Around 2015, I was at the DMV in Hollywood, getting my license renewed, right, with my buddy. And we're waiting in line, he's like, hey, you see that guy over there? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I think that's The Rock, right? And I look, and he looks like really dark, like a black guy, right? And I'm like, I don't think so, right? But then he smiles, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe, you know? I look around the room, and everyone's kind of like pointing at him and like talking and whispering, right? And you could feel like this excitement building in the room, like literally every second it's building. And at one point, this girl screams, it's The Rock, right? And everyone's like, oh shit. Anyway, when it's my time to get my picture taken, he cuts the line, right? He cuts right in front of me, right? And he's like standing like right in front of me, just looking at me, you know? I could have asked him for his autograph or a handshake, anything. But I was so starstruck, you know? I couldn't do anything. I couldn't think, or all I could do was just stare at him and go, Yeah, the only thought in my head was, that's The Rock, you know? That's The Rock. That's The Rock, right? I just couldn't do anything. And he just looked at me like, whatever. And he went and got his picture taken and stuff. And I was watching, you know, people like running up to him, getting his autograph stuff. I was like, man, he's so cool, you know? You could just tell he was just like so happy that people were being nice to him, right? I was like, man, if I ever see The Rock again, I'm gonna march right up to him and go, because he's The Rock, man, I can't help myself. Alright, easy one out, thank you, I'm out of here.
Iwanu, everybody, that's our mic.